don't be fooled by the picture of the animal on the front of your litter bags. Don't pay more because it has a ferret on the front versus a cat. Hey you guys, and welcome back to my channel. I've been wanting to do a video for a while now on how to save money and own ferrets. So ferrets on a budget. We all know that ferrets can be expensive, especially if you own multiple ferrets, as I do. So I use lots of different ways to save money just to cut down on some of the costs. Now there's going to be some things that you are not going to want to cut cost on, that you are not going to try to do a cheap way because it just won't be beneficial to your ferrets. But there are lots and lots of things that you can buy and have and do with your ferrets at a reduced cost or at a lesser cost than just going out and outright buying these things. I'm going to share with you guys the tips and things that I do to cut down on the cost of owning 4 ferrets. Without further ado, let's just get into the video. Okay, so my very first tip is going to be trying to find a cage like the Ferret or Critter Nation, which is the cage that I personally recommend that you use with your ferrets, or even a feisty ferret cage by Purview. Either one of those cages are better than the plastic ones that you get from, like, say, the pet store. Those plastic cages with the white bars that are kind of flimsy, they can be kind of risky. Your ferrets will probably over time figure out how to get out of that. They aren't typically spacious enough. So if you're looking for a decent ferret cage and you know anything about these cages, they can be really expensive. In general, you're looking to spend about $250 if you get a double. So if you're looking to save money on a cage, I highly recommend that you check on Facebook, Facebook Marketplace, on Craigslist. There are always people selling their Ferret Nation and Critter Nation cages. I'm gonna put an example up here. I found this today while I was doing some research for this video. So this is just an example of one. So people sell them all the time, and they do sell them at a reduced cost because they're used. As long as that cage is in working order, the doors lock correctly, the bars aren't bent or torn up, there's nothing poking out, you clean it very well before you put your pet in it, I don't really see why you couldn't get a used cage. So cages, looking for them at a reduced price is number one. Okay, so tip number 2 is gonna have to do with litter. I am going to cut over to a video that I filmed while I was in the store. All right, you guys, so I'm getting ready to run into Petco, and I'm gonna go get some supplies that I need for the ferrets. So specifically, I'm going to get litter, and I use paper pellets with my ferrets, the scent-free, just paper pellets. They do really, really well with those. I've found those to be great. They don't mistake them for a bed. It's wonderful. So here's the thing. When you go into the pet store, a lot of times you will notice that if you go to the small animal section, they will have the paper pellets, and it'll have like a bunny on the front or some sort of small pet on the front, and it'll be maybe like a 15-pound bag, and they want like $20 for it or whatever the price is. If you go over to the cat supply section, you will see the exact same paper pellets, except on the front of the bag will be a cat. Normally, it's a little bit, there's more in it than in the bags that are marketed towards small pets, and the price is about a $5 or $6 difference. So basically, it's the exact same litter, same paper pellets, same fragrance-free, basically the same bag. The only difference is that one has a cat on it, one may have a bunny or something like that on it, and the size may be different. But a lot of times you get more for your money if you get it for cats than you do if you get it for small pets. Now, why they do this, I don't know. I guess they figure that people they'll just assume they have to have the one that says bunny, but I promise that it is the exact same product. I know that from buying both of them, actually. And also, I know someone that works in the store, and it's the same product. So let's go take a look, and I'll show you what I mean. Hello, Dukes. Hello, Dukes. Look at the piggies. Hi, piggies. Okay, so here's a 10-pound bag of the paper pellets for $11.99. 10 pounds. Okay, so this is the fresh scent, so I can't get this one. They're out of the one that I want. But this one's 25 pounds. It's unscented. It's $15.99. So you could get another, if they had it in stock, you would get another 15 pounds for $4. And because they're out of the litter, I'm gonna get my second favorite. This is wonderful. and it's $7.99. All right. So I did not get the litter that I wanted because all the ones that they had were scented, and I won't use scent with the ferrets. But my point is proven. Basically what this comes down to is don't be fooled by the picture of the animal on the front of your litter bags. Don't pay more because it has a ferret on the front versus a cat. All right. So buying litter brings me to tip number 3. Make sure that when you go to your local store, Petco, PetSmart, even your, like my little local stores that are small pet stores have rewards. Get signed up for the rewards. As much as it may be a pain, really, when you go to check out, you just give me your phone number. I know at Petco, once you get a certain amount of points, you get $5 off your purchase. So you can save money by doing that. Every time you purchase something, you get points. As minor as that may seem, $5 adds up over time. There are some places, if you buy this really applies more to my dog food, but if I buy, let's say I buy 10 bags of food over the course of 12 months, I get the 11th bag free. So there's lots of ways to save, not just on your ferret supplies, but on even your dog, cat food as well. So make sure that you check out the programs and any kind of reward systems that your local stores have. That really will save you money. Okay, so tip number 4 is look for sales, especially after the holidays. Let's say that you are looking to get your ferrets some toys, and toys for ferrets can sometimes be expensive, especially when you're trying to make sure that they don't have bead eyes, that they don't have beanbag filling, that you just want something that's safe for your ferrets. And so a lot of times the best place to get that is at a pet store because they make pet safe toys for the most part. So go after the holiday. I know that after Christmas, I stock up on toys for my dogs, for my ferrets, for my cats. Like I literally go in and get all of the discounted toys that I can find. They don't care that it's a Christmas toy. They don't care that it's a Halloween shaped toy. It's a toy and they want to play with it. There's always sales after the holiday, mainly because the stores have to get rid of the inventory. They don't want to carry it over for next year. There'll be new things out, and so everything goes on sale the day after or even the day before sometimes the holiday. This is true for basically all holidays. Thanksgiving, Easter, Christmas, New Year's, 4th of July, like you name it. The pet stores like to go crazy because us pet owners always want to buy our animals something. So take advantage of the 50% off, the 75% off. Take advantage of that. You can even go to like Walmart or even, I don't know, Macy's or wherever. Everywhere that sells holiday decor is going to have that stuff on sale following the holidays. If you're looking for fleece, if you want to make stuff for your ferrets, go to Joann's after the holidays. A lot of times they move their holiday fleece into the discount bin so that it is always 50% off. I went to the Joann's today and they still have Halloween fabric from Halloween that just passed, and it's like 70% off. They want to get rid of it because next Halloween they're going to have new inventory and they don't want it anymore. So take advantage of that. Go and stock up, and you can make yourself some liners. You can make yourself a no-sew hammock. Follow this tutorial. Anyway, check out all the after holiday sales. I get so much stuff for all of my pets using those after holiday sales. It's like the greatest. It's my favorite. I also buy a lot of candy for myself after the holidays because it's like 50% off. Just saying. Anyway, that's tip number 4. Okay, so tip number 5 is more along the lines, this has to do with a lot of vet care. So you can get ferret insurance, same as you can get insurance for your dogs. Now, it can run you around $29 a month. You may be able to get it less. $29, $30 a month runs you, that's about what? Let's see, $360 a year roughly, which can be kind of steep. Now, if you have a ferret who has to go to the vet often or requires, like they're older and they have adrenal disease and you are constantly at the vet and they are constantly needing prescriptions, it may be really beneficial for you to invest in pet insurance. Now, it may not be beneficial if your ferret's really young and they're just doing their yearly checkups and nothing is really wrong. However, if your ferret gets an emergency happens and they break their leg, like Weasel did, or they have to go get an x-ray because you think they swallowed something, like Weasel did, that is really expensive. So with pet insurance, it would allow vaccines to be covered, yearly checkups sometimes. You have to look into it. I can't guarantee everything that's covered. You would want to look into it. Nationwide offers ferret insurance. There's a company called Pet Assure that also offers ferret insurance. I will put links to that in the description. I am not affiliated with either of those companies. I do not know a ton about their programs. So if you want to look into that you would want to do on your own. So tip number 6, and of course these are my favorites because half of my videos are DIYs. Making your pets toys is obviously a huge way to save money. So supplying your ferrets with things to entertain them or engage them or give them ferret enrichment can be relatively inexpensive and can be done with things around your house. There are lots of ways to make your ferrets toys, and those are really easy. I actually have some DIYs. If you sew and if you don't, I'm gonna put a link above me to that video. There's actually a couple, so I'll put the playlist above me. There's obviously lots of things that you can make. There's lots of the dig boxes, and those things can be really inexpensive. And if you know where to get some of the supplies, that's even better. You know, do a dollar store trip. You can actually, if you are pretty creative and you think about some things in your heads, if you run over to the dollar store, to the Dollar General, even to Walmart, you can get lots of things to make for your ferrets, or even that you don't even really have to doctor up or make at all, that your ferrets could play with and keep that really inexpensive. Ferrets don't need expensive toys. That's our choosing as pet parents. I choose to buy them things off of SD that are expensive because I spoil them. But that's an expense that I don't have to spend. They would be 100% happy if I put some rice into a pill bottle, glued it shut, and let them run around and play with it. They like that kind of stuff. So there's lots of ways to save money if you make like their toys yourself, or you make enrichment activities. Get some cardboard boxes, like make a maze. I mean, they love that stuff. Honestly, I keep cardboard boxes in their room. That's what they want to play in. Of all the expensive things that I buy them, cardboard boxes are their favorite. Kind of like children at Christmas. So that is tip number 6. Tip number 7, make their bedding. If you don't sew, that's okay. You don't have to sew to make their bedding. I know that you guys know the cost of cage liners. I do sell them. They can be expensive. One of the main reasons that I started making cage liners and sewing them is because they were so expensive on Etsy. Now, I say that as an Etsy seller, and I am well aware that they are expensive. And until I started selling them, I could not understand why they were so expensive. But I promise you that as a seller, selling them now, knowing the time that it takes that goes into it, the shipping, the cost, all of the materials, I understand why. But if you don't want to spend that kind of money, I don't blame you. And you can sew them yourself. If you don't sew, that's okay. You can come up with creative ways to line your ferret's cage in fleece that does not require you to have a sewing machine. I have a video, I will actually link that as well right here, that can give you some ideas on how to wrap your cage liners up in fleece. You can even go to the store and get decorative fleece and wrap the cage liners up. If you do it the right way, then it looks just like a liner and you get the same exact effect. It still looks really cute. Your ferrets get a soft bed and you save yourself a ton of money. Also, use a coupon if you're gonna go to Joann Fabrics. I'm just gonna put that out there now. I tell people this all the time. Don't pay full price for anything at Joann's. Don't do that. Get a coupon, download their app, take it off their website. Don't go into Joann's and ever pay full price for fleece. If you do so, check out my sewing tutorials if you don't know how to sew the cage liners or you just want to see how it's done. And I will show you because I do videos on that as well, and that will save you some money. Cage liners run about $80 for a set for a double ferret nation. What really cuts down on the cost, not only by making it are you cutting down on the cost because you don't have to buy it, if you are using puppy pads, I know that those are really expensive. Now, there are a lot of people that use puppy pads. They swear by them, and if that's your choice, that is awesome, and I support that. For me, I don't want to spend money on puppy pads. What I would rather do is use the fleece because I can throw it in the washing machine, and then I use it over and over and over and over and over again, and I don't have to go out and buy puppy pads that are kind of expensive. I just wash them when they get dirty, and we get another set out. For the most part, my ferrets do not go to the bathroom in their cage. They go to the bathroom in the litter box in their cage, but they do not pee or poop anywhere in that cage except for in the litter box. They just don't poop where they sleep, and because everything is so soft, I, knock on wood, have been able to train them to not poop on the cage liners. ferret food. I do not recommend that you try to find cheap ferret food. I absolutely don't. In fact, I recommend the opposite. Do yourself a favor, buy high quality food. If it costs a lot of money, pay the money. The reason that this ends up being cost saving to you is that if your ferrets are eating a healthy diet, they're healthy. And if they're healthy, you visit the vet less. So with that being said, don't try to find cheap ferret food. Don't reduce the quality of the food to keep the price down. If you're gonna splurge on anything for your ferrets, I highly recommend that you splurge on their food. That in the long run will save you a ton of money. It is known that if ferrets eat food that is not healthy for them, that is not meant for them, it will actually cost you more money because it will cause them to get sick. It may cause them to have diseases and conditions that they otherwise wouldn't have, which will cost you, I promise, a lot more money in the vet than it does to cost you to feed them the better quality food. So don't splurge on food and you will save your money. You save yourself money in the long run. That is my recommendation on that. So number 9 is feed a high quality diet. You won't be sorry. And number 9 is similar to food. Get your ferrets out of their cage. Exercise them. Engage with them. Find things to do ferret enrichment. Keep them occupied. Keep them active and mobile, and make sure they're not depressed or sad or cage raging or by themselves. That will save you money in the long run. If your ferret is not getting the appropriate amount of time out of their cage, if they're not getting the appropriate amount of exercise or just enrichment that they need, it could cause them to be depressed. It could cause them to harm themselves accidentally by like biting at the cage. It could also, if they're depressed, that causes, that ultimately can result in conditions that can make them very sick. So invest in time, invest in energy, invest in getting them out of the cage. Again, that all goes back to their health and happiness. If they're not healthy, obviously that's going to result in vet visits. So I can't stress enough that making sure that they get the attention and time that they need, that is required, which is at the minimum, and I hate saying this too, at the minimum it's 4 hours. I personally think that is absolutely not enough time. But I don't know. The recommendation that you're going to find 99.9% of the time across the board on like the internet is going to be to have them out of the cage at least 4 hours a day. Almost every YouTuber that I know that has a ferret channel is going to tell you that they do not believe that is long enough, and I am going to be one of them. I don't think it's long enough. If you can only let your ferret out for 4 hours a day, here's my suggestion. Break the 4 hours up. Don't make 4 hours in one lump, like one chunk of time. Do an hour here, 2 hours here, 30 minutes here. The reason that I say that is because ferrets sleep a lot. They're not going to play for 4 hours consistently. You'd be lucky if they play for an hour consistently. At least my ferrets, they're lazy. They come out of their cage and within 30 minutes, they're all asleep. So I let them out. Well, they have their own room, so they're not technically locked in their cage, but they come out of this room at least twice a day for at least 2 hours at a time, at least. But at the end of the day, they are never, ever, that cage door is never locked, ever, unless I'm cleaning and this door is open and the cats are running around. Aside from that, those ferrets do not get locked in that cage, ever. But keeping them that way ultimately results in a happier, healthier life for them, which results in less vet bills for yours truly. So, exercise, enrichment, get them out of the cage. It's just my fleeting thoughts that I forgot to add in earlier. When it comes to buying things like flea medicine for your ferrets, if you do that, I know for me, I do put flea medicine on my ferrets. When I buy flea medicine, I buy it in large packs, like 6 at a time, or things like that. And the reason that I do that is because it's a lot cheaper. If I were to buy individual doses, they run like $15 a piece. If I buy them in a pack of 6, I get a discount on doing it that way. So anytime that I can buy things in quantity, I do that, especially because I have 4 ferrets, so everything I have is in quantity. But buying it in quantity versus buying it individually will save you money as well. That is also true if you do, like I know for Amazon, I get some of their stuff off of Amazon and I buy it consistently. They have these little programs where if you do it, like you let them just automatically deliver it, it'll save you like $2 per thing, depending on what it is. So that's an option too. But buying flea medicine especially, any kind of medicines like that, if you can buy it in 6 to 12 month increments, you will save money that way as well. Okay, so those are my tips for owning ferrets and doing it on a budget. Anyway, those are my tips for having ferrets and saving some money where you can. It does really add up over time. If you can save money here or there, it makes a big difference. Your ferrets, they don't know that as long as they're healthy, happy, taken care of, and everything, they get everything they need and everything that they should have, then why not? So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions or you have any suggestions or any other tips that I didn't address or didn't think of, drop them in the comments. For anybody else who's watching the video, please share. It really helps when everybody kind of comes together and gives their ideas. It helps us as ferret owners, and I am always open to new ideas, new tips and tricks. So thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.